So, Robbie, we've got through another successful month and we've become the first team in the Northern Premier League system to secure a playoff place. You must be delighted with that, wouldn't you?
Well, I knew we were there. We got that playoff place guaranteed after the result at Lancaster. It's such a tough place to go. I didn't realise we were the first to secure that. The players, the staff, they deserve all the credit. The way they've gone about their business, how relentless they've been, the togetherness they've showed. So for us to guarantee a place, or the first team to do it, in the whole of the NPL system in February, a month which the club has never been beaten in, because at the business end, February, March, this is where this club, really puts his foot down. We did it last year. We were brilliant towards the end of the season. Thoroughly deserve that second place. We're currently top, and it's a credit to the group. The group deserve every plaudit they get because they have been sensational.
You've obviously alluded to the fact that we did go unbeaten and we are still unbeaten in the month of February, and that's a record that will stick with us over time. But you've talked about the relentless nature. We're certainly going to need to continue that over this last few months of the season.
Yeah, because you look at from number 1 to 9. I think Morpeth are currently in 9th. I think FC are in 10th, and I think it might be a little bit too much for FC to try and get in those playoffs. But if you look at Morpeth and above, the run Warrington Rylands have been on under Neil Reynolds, one of the best managers in the league. You look at Hebburn, you look at Stockton, look at those teams. They've still got a chance. Stockton, flying, Ilkeston, Guiseley, and then you look at Worksop. Worksop are 4 wins in a row. They've now gone into that second position, and right now, if we don't win the league, I said it earlier in the season, didn't I, Ben? Very early on, I believe there's only us or Worksop could win the league. That might change, but first and second right now, Worksop on a roll. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be going to Worksop in a playoff semi-final, final. Because it's such a tough place to go. They're so effective in what they do, but at this stage of the season now, it's about mentality. It's about securing those playoff positions. We've done it. We can be delighted with that. But now our aim is to go and win the next 3 games to guarantee us lifting that trophy. Listen, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. The way the lads have trained this morning, the effort, it's like a League Two club, on and off the pitch, the way they train on it, they have results. And off the pitch, everything's in place for us to go up a level. We're doing everything we can to do that. The fine margins, we look at everything. And what we can't do, Ben, is put ourselves in a position from now to the end of the season where we finish in those playoff positions, because we know last year we were magnificent in the semi-final and it just wasn't our day in the final. Marine were the better team on the day, and that's what it is with those playoffs. We were the second best team last year, deservedly so. The run we had towards the end, we were absolutely magnificent. But it wasn't to be. So now we as a group have got to make sure that it's not us in those playoffs. It's us that's lifting that title sooner rather than later.
As you said, you alluded to the fact that we don't really want to go through that playoff heartbreak at all, because it was a tough day for the club. Obviously missing out in that playoff final against Marine, but obviously the job's now to get that league done as quickly as possible, isn't it?
Certainly is. We know we've got a difficult game at the weekend against Matlock. Then we haven't got a game on the 8th, and then we go to Morpeth and Bamber Bridge at home. And if we win those 3 games, the title's ours. So again, we've got to look at that. We've got to do everything we can. We've got to prepare right. We've got to, train to the best of our ability. We've got to give the players all the information needed to lift that title as soon as we can. We've got a fully fit squad to choose from, with the exception of JJ. JJ come off with a slight knock to his knee, so he's being assessed. But it'll be a minimum amount of time. If JJ misses out, it might be 1 game. But Duffs has been back. Everybody's pushing each other in training. The togetherness is there for all to see. So again, I'm delighted and overwhelmed really by the way the lads have been with us as a group, the management team, because they want the same as us. They want to win that league as quick as we can. And as I said many times, right now 23 points clear, 9 games to go. It's not done. We've got to make sure that we're in a position that in 3 games time, You know, if we've not lifted the title, we've got to try and do it as soon as we can. And if we don't, the pressure will build. Pressure builds at this stage of the season. You look at the form table, you know, Worksop are second in it. I think we're top of it. The two form teams at the minute. And that's imperative going into this stage. Who can handle the pressure? We are. You know, we are. Can others? And that is the big question. So it's all to play for. You know, but our aim is not only to lift the title, is to break records, is to smash through 100 points, 100 goals. And that's what the aim is. No question about it. And I believe we've got the calibre, the quality and the togetherness to do that. And if we do, as I've said on Saturday, it'd be probably the greatest achievement of my footballing career.
As you alluded to in terms of the form guide, obviously we are top of the form guide at the moment. Our opponent's Matlock currently sit bottom of the form guide at this present moment, but by no means least it won't be an easy game at all.
Almost certainly. We went there and it was 2-0 up, 2-2, and then Rooney scored a worldie to win it. Mikulova weren't doing great when we played them. They beat us. Also Leek. So again, you know, you look at the form guide, it doesn't matter. The form guide goes out the window when it's Macclesfield Football Club. It'd be a big occasion for everybody. You know, I know the manager really well, and as his assistant at Matlock, you know, they've got some very, very good players and good people. So we'll welcome them. But, you know, for me, there's so many good teams in this league. There's so many good teams. And if we can win the league, you know, sooner rather than later, the objective will be to register some of the young players, the 21s who deserve it, some of the BTEC players. You know, we've got to think about our future. We've got to think how we can move forward. So if we can get the league wrapped up sooner rather than later, it'd be an opportunity to play some of those youngsters, because we've got to think about us. So again, yeah, we want to create a pathway for our youngsters and our BTEC players. And as soon as the league's won, if it is, be an opportunity for those players to play.
And just finally, the Silkman fans are going to be needed over the month of March, aren't they? It could be a special month for us both on and off the pitch, but they're going to be needed, aren't they?
Always needed. Always needed. Hopefully there'll be another crowd over 3,000. You know, let's try and pack it out. Excuse me. The players need that support. The players need that encouragement, that roar of the crowd. They've been imperative to us, the fans. They've been so important, and the lads love playing in front of such a big crowd. 3,500, 4,000 every other week. A huge away following. We've just got to make sure that we do everything right as a club, you know. But the most important thing, Ben, is the aim is not to finish in those playoff places. Yes, they're guaranteed. Is to win the league. We're in a great place. Nothing is taken for granted at this football club. We have to earn the right, and we have to earn to win this league. We've got a great chance, but until mathematically we can't be caught, we can't rest. We've got to do everything professionally, everything right till that day comes. And if it doesn't come, I won't be here. Simple as that.